going bankrupt on your own. Kush cloud all in my head. Woke in the morning with a hoe I didn't know in my bed. Walked to the mirror, saw my eyes bloody red. That's the evil I said, but I shouldn't really feel that. Instead, block out the feedback. Yeah, we don't need that. I'ma show you where the fucking drinks and the weed at. When the beat bangs, this shit gon' blow your weave back. You gon' have to run this shit back for a recap. Yeah, I'm right back here to recap. Vic up on your bitch ass, I'm doing it quick fast. Sorry for the mishaps, I just spaz. I'm liable to break a bitch off like a Kit Kat. So sit back, I'm gonna need you to relax. You gon' have to kick it like you relapse. You better believe that these beats get these bitches on their knees stat. That's my feedback. Fresh talk to 'em.
Yo, what's up, everybody? How's everyone doing?
Fresh about to cut like Batman. Shit'll fuck your brain up, you might need a CAT scan. The weed mad loud, man, you might need a gas mask. Bitches in the bathroom cutting lines like a fast pass. Pass that's a couple cats, a little pissy drunk. Pass that's me and Fresh with a drink in our cup. Yeah, all I ever wanted to do was hit the blunt, cause I couldn't see it fucking me up. But now I'm cross-faded, the vibe is fading. It's cool though, I'm adapting, my mind is changing. Of all places to be, I'm in the spot, you see. So it's already like I won the fucking lottery. I gotta be out of my goddamn mind to let it happen to me every goddamn time. And if I'm the fucking outcast like Big Boy in 3 stacks, I still block out the feedback. Talk to him. Fresh talk to him. Talk to him. And if I'm the fucking outcast like Big Boy in 3 stacks, I still block out the feedback. Talk to him. Fresh talk to him.
How's everyone doing? Hope everyone is doing good. That song is called Feedback by Dr. Fresh. Feedback by Dr. Fresh. Ah, fuck. Sorry. I need to adjust the lighting as usual. Too bright. What about like this? There we go. Cool. So hope everyone's doing good. We're back with another stream, the second episode of the newly titled Sunday Streams, Markets with Mayne. I think this is the first one that I've done on a Sunday at the weekly close in a while. I've been very, very bad at getting these out on time between traveling and COVID and just general procrastination. I've been slacking. So I'm glad I'm able to get this one out at a relevant time, because I do think now is an important time in the market. So a couple of things I want to talk about in the charts. We're focused mainly today on Bitcoin and Ethereum, but as you can see, I have some altcoins here that I also want to take a quick peek at. Really excited about Link. I got in some great longs over the weekend here in most of the coins that you see here. But I got long Link as well, and I'll add sushi here because I got long on sushi. So we'll talk about all of these things, and we will kind of just do the usual. I'll talk about the charts. I'll take a look at the chat. I'll make fun of people who ask stupid questions. I'll probably say some stupid stuff myself, but that's okay. It's my stream. I can do what I want. Yeah, it should be good. So if you guys got any request of things that you want to see, please save it for the end. Don't spam the chat with altcoin requests right now. I will open it up at the end. I'll say, hey guys, spam your altcoins at the end, and we will take some requests at that point. Please don't spam the chat now, because then all the questions that people have about things that we're talking about in the moment get lost in people Control C, Control V, power turbo pasting their altcoin that they're down horrendously on, and they want me to look at it. So please save those until the end. I will do my best to take a look at a few of them. Gonna do this stream today, gonna record an altcoin video tomorrow, and I should have that up midweek, and maybe we'll do a midweek stream as well. I don't know. I think this week is gonna be a big week for crypto. We've obviously had an important weekly close here, so we'll talk about that. My homie Altcoin Psycho is probably going to drop into the chat and hang out towards the end of the stream. Yeah, we'll start with Bitcoin, and then we'll kind of go from there. Real quick, I want to give a shout out to the sponsors of this stream. As you guys know, I'm working with Prime XBT. So love the exchange. It's one that I personally use. I do like that you can trade more than just crypto on there. With crypto as collateral, you can trade Forex. So if you've been following my old Metals with Mayne videos, you can trade gold, you can trade silver, you can trade currencies, which is awesome. Great liquidity, great interface. Overall, happy to be back working with the Prime team. And if you use the code MAYNE50, MAYNE50, click the link in the description, you'll get 25% off of your trading fees, which is pretty awesome. All right, so it's going to be a big week, I think. We're either going to see Bitcoin and potentially altcoins have some much overdue relief, or perhaps we're going to see one more stab down first. So as usual, I'm going to try and prepare you guys for all situations, as well as telling you kind of my thought process, why I got into the positions I'm in, what I potentially see as, upside scenarios, downside scenarios. That way you guys are locked and loaded, and when you get home or wherever you are and open up your own version of TradingView, you're ready to rock. So let's just get directly into it. Oh, what up, XO? How you doing, homie? Prime XBT, let's go. So let's get right into it. So we'll start with Bitcoin. Now, I want to be very clear. The high time frame Bitcoin chart still looks very bad. This is by no means very bullish. Like, you're looking at the monthly here. We've got a huge monthly swing failure pattern here. So we took out this month's low, right? Traveled up, took out that month's high, and this looks to be like the range that we're going to be in for the next while. Generally, when you're looking at a range, when the lows get taken, you generally are going to target the mid-range, and then if it reclaims the mid-range, you're going to target the range high. When the highs get taken, you target the mid-range. If the mid-range gets lost, you target the range low. That's how you generally are going to trade the range. So if you look at Bitcoin on a high time frame here, is any of this stuff I can't replicate easily? No, I can replicate it. So if you look at Bitcoin on the high time frame here, you're seeing a lot of people who have brought this up recently, being like, I think I've seen Don Alt post about it. Obviously, we've seen the Range Master Trader SZ post about it. We've seen our homie in the chat, Trader XO, post about it. You see a lot of people talking about, maybe we're just in some huge range, and we're going to range for the entirety of 2022. And it's going to be a big range between 30K and 60K, right? Personally, I have no problem with that. I think a lot of people are like, oh my God, some huge range, that sounds awful. Like, you want to know what's awful is this. I'll show you awful. It just shows you how little time a lot of people have been in the market when they're like, I can't imagine like a range for an entire year. That'd be awful. We're talking about a range on the monthly and weekly chart, a $30,000 range. So not only are ranges piss easy to trade, and if you want to know how I trade ranges, I have a video titled Range Trading. Type that in on YouTube. It's like an hour and a half video where I cover how I trade ranges. But it's a $30,000 range, which means there's going to be absolutely massive moves in either direction. And when we're at the range lows and bullish and Bitcoin catches a bid, even if it's going to make a lower high, there's going to be a period of time where altcoins go crazy as well. And when Bitcoin is near the range highs and it dumps, you're going to see altcoins shit the bed. There's going to be tons of volatility and opportunity in a huge $30,000 range. You want to know what torture is? This is torture. For those of my friends who were around in 2018 here, you think a $30,000 to $60,000 range is rough. This is like a 10% range that we were stuck in for months. Okay, this was brutal. Volatility on a day-to-day basis was awful, and you can go even further back here. And say, okay, this range was all, but this period of trading, we were trading on BitMEX here, and this was fucking brutal, man. This was brutal. So was this. Even though we were putting in the bottom here, like trying to squeak out trades, when look at these daily candles, how small they are, right? This was painful, okay? Trading between 30 and 60,000 sounds like an awesome opportunity to play just level to level. When Bitcoin is at the range lows, and if it's finding support, you go risk on with altcoins, right? When Bitcoin is at the range highs and it's showing weakness, you go risk off of altcoins and you short altcoins, you short Bitcoin, you short Ethereum, right? It's just going to be on a massive scale. I think there's going to be a lot of opportunity and I think a lot of money to be made if we do something like this. Like, I have no issue with something like this for the rest of the year. Really, I don't. Obviously, ideally, right, I would much rather us just go fucking vertical. Like, who wouldn't want us to just go to 100K, right? Like, if you own Bitcoin, the easiest conditions to trade are just a straight up uptrend, because if you own Bitcoin, you don't even have to do anything, right? And you're making money. Range trading takes a little bit more skill, right? Because you got to be able to play both directions. You got to be able to cut trades off and just not assume that when we get to the range high that we're going to break out, that we might just come back down, right? And now you've round tripped your long all the way back to entry. So a little bit more skill involved, but I think it's a great opportunity to learn. Whether or not we're going into a bear market, it doesn't matter so much to me, right? I'm a trader, up or down, I'm going to be okay. The problem is many people have come into this market over the last 2 years and all they know is this, right? They were baptized by up only. And there's nothing wrong with that, right? I mean, everyone looks like a genius in a bull run, right? It's easy. You buy something. If you wait long enough, you're going to be up on it. But personally, myself and a lot of the traders I hang out with, right, we really sharpened our skills in the bear, because you had to learn to cut your losses. You had to learn how to short. You had to learn how to flip your bias easily. You had to learn how to trade in rangy and shitty conditions as opposed to just a clear up or down trend. But I smashed the shit out of this bear market here, right? Like, this is where I made a shitload of money that allowed me to really make it in this bull run. The money I made here that I was able to reinvest here and down here and on the way up is what helped me make it during this crazy run. It wasn't the money I made here. I fucking didn't handle this bull run amazingly, right? I did okay, made money in the bear run, and then I knew what I was doing for the next one. So if you're worried about a bear market coming, I think you got to think of it as opportunity. Don't think of it as something to be scared of. It's opportunity, right? the market can only go up, down, or sideways. And if you can trade all three of those directions, you got nothing to worry about. Obviously, if you're a holder, hodler, a bear market can be scary because, maybe some of those bags that you bought that were up 2,000% are going to retrace 80 or 90% from the highs. And that sounds horrifying, but it's very easy for hodlers to, in the uptrend be like, oh, fuck trying to buy and sell. Just hodl. Don't worry about that. Just hodl. Hodlers always win. That's easy when everything is going up, right? But when the market is now retracing, are you still going to have that same confidence in your bags that even if it goes down 89%, you're just going to hold it? What if it goes down 80% and it stays shitty for like 2 years, right? What are you going to do? Are you prepared to suffer massive drawdown for an extended period of time? Imagine you're a hodler of Cardano. You're telling people this is the new shit, just buy and hold, we're going to be rich, and then it fucking fully retraces the bull market move, and then it stays in a very long sideways phase for literally 2 years. Are you prepared to hold through that? Because that comes with the territory, being a holder versus being someone who's more actively managing your investments. It's fine and dandy to tell people that, oh yeah, all you have to do is hold and you would outperform a trader. It's like, okay, for sure. In the bull run, maybe you will, and everything's going up. But what happens if Cardano does the same thing again and it retraces 90% and it's back at 30 cents and it stays at 30 cents for the next year or two? Are you prepared to have that same conviction? Right? So personally, I'm not really scared if we're going into a bull market or going into a bear market. I don't really care. I have crypto and cold storage that I'm not going to sell for a while. And how do I protect myself for downside? Well, when I'm trading, if we're in a bear market, I'm going to be shorting, right? I'm going to be shorting, and that's going to help hedge some losses that I'm taking on things that I hold spot in. But I've also set myself up well in terms of transitioning a lot to stable coins, during this run up and during this run up. Did I catch the absolute top? No, it doesn't really matter. But me personally, as a trader, I'm licking my chops at the opportunity to, trade a huge range between here and here, right? Think of all the opportunities there'll be to get into longs on the way up here and then get into shorts on the way back down. Right? Sounds like a lot of fun to me. I don't know about you. So I do see this range, that we're all looking at here. It seems like everyone's looking at. It seems very reasonable to me that, now that we've swept the range high, maybe we come down and sweep these lows. So looking at this on the weekly, if I had to guess what's going to happen, the weekly closed just now. That is not a pretty looking weekly close. We have a brand new weekly order block here. Right, that just closed. Let's see if the weekly, did it close as a swing failure? So it did. Closed as an SFP of that low, right? So that's potentially bullish, but we broke this low. So realistically, if we're going to get a bounce, right, the target for the bounce is this new weekly order block, which is confluent with the mid-range. Can we poke higher and above it? Absolutely. But this would be the logical area for a bounce, right around 45, 46K as an initial target. And that also lines up with our yearly open and our lower time frame range. Okay. So if this is a temporary low and we're going to have a green week, let's say, your target is up into this weekly bearish order block. And then we look for reasons to potentially scale in shorts here because the trend is down. So it's lower highs and lower lows, right? So the trend is down. So the expectation is eventually we make another lower low. Can that change? Can we just go up only from here? Obviously, lots of things can happen. But for now, this closes an SFP. If this is a temporary low, we're looking for a move back towards this order block, back towards that mid-range is our first area of interest. But this is the high time frame range that I'm watching for the year, okay? This big range here. So from this high to this low, deviated above, slightly broke the lows. So now that we've gone over the top, next target potentially is here, high time frame. I don't know if we go up first and then down, right? Or if we go up a little and then down. I don't know yet. But that would be the logical target based on the way that this high time frame chart is looking, okay? Now, let's see if I can backspace all the way back to the chart I had before. I don't know if it's going to do it. Is it going to do it? Is it going to do it? Come on, baby. There we go. Okay, so now zooming in, looking at the daily, okay? We've got this daily range that we formed here after the big initial dump. Came up, SFP'd the high. What'd we do? We ran to the low. How is this any different than that weekly range that I just showed you where we had our initial high, there's 30K, there's 69K, and we're now here. How is this any different? It's not, right? It's just a range, and we ran the high, next target is the low. Ran the high, stopped at the mid-range, lost the mid-range, now we're at the low, right? So if we're able to get back within this range, target 1, the mid-range. We have our yearly open sitting at 46,200. We have this bearish daily order block that is formed here as well. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 red daily candles in a row. So some relief would not be surprising, but we need to hold this range low here. But our first target would be up into this mid-range, this daily order block, right? And the yearly open, which is at 46,200. This would be our target on longs if we're going to get that relief that we're expecting here, right? Need to see that form early this week. I want the low to either already be in, or I want the low to form very quickly early in the week, ideally, if we're going to have a green week. This also lines up with the mid-range of that massive range, right? That big weekly range I had drawn out, the mid-range is like 47 something. So it's all a lot of confluence right here for a target if we're going to push higher. Okay. What else am I looking at here? We've ran the lows of this. We ran the low of this. Okay. So we ran that low. We ran that low. There's one other set of lows here, right? This has all been run. This one. So this low has not been run yet. We also have this nice 12-hour order block that led to this rally. Boom, retest, run away. So obviously this is a critical level, and we have a low sitting right there. So if we were to dive one more time down into here, I would look to be a buyer for the exact same play up into here. Okay, the question is, are we already done moving down and we're going to see the relief now? And people who were waiting for sub 40K got front run, right? So did these people get front run who were looking to buy at 39.5 and 40? Or are we going to have one more stab down and then we're going to get that relief? Either way, I think sooner than later, we're going to be trading back at 44, 45, 46,000, back up into the mid-range here. The question is this the low here? We ran that range low. We ran the low from the other day. We made a higher high on the low time frame here. Is this it? Or are we going to have one more stab down and then the move up? So I've positioned myself for now that this is the low, right? So I took a long yesterday on Bitcoin. I posted what I was in, right? Someone commented, they're like, tell us what you're doing, up or down. And I was like, I'm long. And I longed Bitcoin. I posted all my positions: Bitcoin, Link, Luna, Sushi, and Atom. So I longed all of those because basically what I was looking at here was, okay, we just ran this low and then we reclaimed the range low. So I wanted to get risk on with some alts, and I managed to catch some nice bounces, because generally when you see Bitcoin trading at the range low, right? Trading at the range low, if it's going to bounce, there's going to be a lot of altcoins that are going to bounce harder. And that's basically what I was playing. I was playing some of the stronger altcoins over the recent last little bit. And I managed to catch, Sushi went up 10% yesterday. Luna went up 10%. Atom went up 10%. What else was I in? Bitcoin itself, my entry was at like 40,900, right? So I caught like a almost 4%, 3 or 4% move there. Ethereum was up like 6%. So I caught a really nice bounce play. But what we want to see now is continuation. I want to see this break higher. What I'm not liking effectively what we're seeing right now is we've got a new little mini range here on the hourly, and we've actually run this high now. Okay. Do we run that one too? What's the high here? I think we did. The high is 2792. Yeah, 242801. So we've run the high there after running the low. So what I really want to see is effectively this range low hold, and I want to see this low hold because we're putting in a potential, right? Like we got a low, a lower low, a higher low. This is like a classic setup that I always talk about. So I want to see, and we've run this low here. So I want to see there's a little bit of a CME gap here. That's now been filled. We've got our bullish order block here at the range lows. So I'm long again. I closed some of my longs here. And I'm long again on Bitcoin from right here, basically, with a stop there. So I'm hoping that this turns up from here, and then we at the very least run these highs. But I'd love to see us fill in some of this fair value gap that we have right here. Just a large void, essentially, down-only price action. So I want to see us hold here, get above here, and then trade into these highs and potentially up as high as here. But it needs to hold this low. Okay? If we lose this low, right, because we've swept this and then we've made a higher high. So the logic is if this is a sweep of this low, we've made a higher high, this retest should hold. Because if it doesn't, if this low gets broken, I think we actually come out and take out these lows. And then we potentially see a move into that gray box I was talking about here. So pretty critical area. I think, to focus on here. For Bitcoin, I want to see this low hold. If we lose this low at 41,240, I'm cutting the long and I'll wait and I'll see if we get maybe one more stab down. But this is the area that I'm working in. We've got that high time frame range low here. So I'm looking for price to hold this low. This is what needs to be reclaimed if we're going to see a move to the mid range, right? If we lose this, right, come below here, guess what? We're trading down into here. And then I'll look again. I'll want to see some sort of move down into here and then a reclaim of this. Then I'll be getting interested in getting into longs back to here. And then if we flip that, eventually back into here. But for now, I'm in a long based on what I just explained here. Ran the low, broke the high. I want to see this low hold, and I want to see a move up at least to these kind of, untapped highs here. Ideally up into here. We'll see though. Stocks opened up bearish. I was hoping that we were going to see a bounce on stocks. Maybe we still will, right? But the stock futures opened up down after selling off hard most of last week in line with Bitcoin. So I want to see this catch a bid here. That would be ideal for Bitcoin as well. Because right now it's kind of looking like this, right? See how we had this low range form? Everyone tried to call bottom here, right? Ran above the high, made a new low. So what I don't want to see is the same thing happen here, right? Everyone call bottom, we run about the high, and then we make a new low. But I'm prepared for anything. My risk is managed. My stop is already set. So now I'm just waiting patiently. I'm going to let the market tell me what it wants to do. If it wants to go up, I think this is the area it goes up from. Could it potentially come down here and then still go up? Sure. But based on my experience with price action, after running this low, breaking that high, there's no reason for this low to get run if it's going higher. I believe if this low gets taken out, I think we'll likely make a new low below these. Okay? So that's my plan for Bitcoin. For the upside, I've explained it. Long now, first target, second target. If we lose the range low and lose this low, so if we do something like this, right, lose the low, I'm looking to short this down into 39, whatever. 39,678 is my level, right? That's the sweep of this low over here. Okay, that would be the next target if this setup fails. And then we'll go again. But we are in a massive sell-off here, right? So the trend is down. Don't be fooled. The trend is down. Shorts are the higher probability play, but I do think we're due for some relief. The question is, do we make another leg down and then get that relief? But either way, when we do eventually bounce, you're going to be looking for reasons to short, right? The market structure is bearish, okay? We're making lower highs and lower lows on all the higher relevant time frames. So when we do eventually bounce, you want to be looking for reasons to get short. Maybe we come back up here, run these highs. I'm looking to short up in here then. Okay? Because the market structure is bearish. So keep that in mind. Longs are counter trend. All right, I'll take a quick look at the chat here, and then we'll get on with Ethereum. I'll make a Spotify playlist eventually. Ninja says hi and that he's a better trader than me. Hello, Ninja. He probably is. Let's be honest. He trades way more than me. He might be a better trader than me. I get more sleep than him. Let's put it that way. Thanks, Joe. Appreciate that, man. This guy says, looking thick, tight. Please keep us updated with any progress photos and all else. I feel like I'm withering away here because the gyms are closed in stupid Canada. Doing mighty well. Glad to hear, man. Riddled with COVID after going on a cruise race, sit in the dark, trading again. Take vitamin C, vitamin D, NAC, Q-certin, alpha lipoic acid, and zinc. You'll be back on your feet in no time. That is not medical advice. I am not a doctor. Did you get 100% of your taste and smell back? Not 100%. I'd say it's improving steadily. Like I had 0. I'd say now I'm like maybe like 60 or 70. So it's definitely coming back. I can taste stuff and smell stuff. It's not as strong as it was. I'm still doing my smell training. I still got my coffee and my other scents that I'm practicing on, and I do think it's helped because yeah, it was scary. I was like legit worried that it was never going to come back. I was doomer. Can you please chart BitBoy's KFC intake against his slow motion boxing? I don't have a big enough monitor to fit his KFC intake. That's probably the most bullish chart of all time. Most bullish charts of all time are the 10-year chart on Bitcoin because it's just going like this. The 100-year chart on the stock market because it's just going like this. But nothing beats BitBoy's. His chart. My eyes. Here's the KFC. Here's time, right, on the bottom here. Okay. And this is KFC intake. Okay. And honestly, it's just this. It's the most bullish chart I've ever seen. Hit BitBoy for us. Take him down. That's for BitBoy. Hey, Mayne, thanks again for the alpha. I'm still working on that Audemars Piguet. I'll keep you posted. I owe you, man. Hey, bro, let me know. Let me know. Good for you, dude. Yes, 2018 to 19 was painful. XO was there. He remembers. We were struggling to get 1% moves out of the market. I'm trying to remember what the fuck this candle was. If someone was here, I can't remember what this candle was. I don't remember. It was something. Obviously. Come on, baby. Bounce, please. After watching every line streams, these are the tools Mayne uses. Loved your stream yesterday, XO. Yeah, XO streams are awesome. Definitely check those out. Anyone have the link to the range trading strategy video? Just type in Trader Mayne range trading in the YouTube bar. It will pop up. What if the 30K support fails? Then we go lower. We'll be in the 20Ks. That's what will happen, right? Don't overthink it, man. If a level fails, we're going to a lower level. It's as simple as that, right? So if we come down here, right, and sweep it, right, that's bullish. If we come down here and lose this, right, if we come down here and then just break down, right, well, we're looking lower. We're just looking lower. That's all you can do, right? But don't get it twisted. This is a downtrend. right? Maybe, ideally, what I want to see is like this. I would love to see this, right? I would like to see that be your high, this be a low, and then a big old lower high way up here, and then another move like that or something. That would be fun. Okay, go back to these. Didn't close as a weekly SFP on all exchanges, only some. Coinbase, Binance, it closed below. So generally my advice when it comes to charting is you want to chart on spot exchanges because then you eliminate some of the noise that you get charting on derivatives exchanges. But you also want to focus on the exchange that you're actually trading on because, you know, if I'm looking for an entry here, the price of 41,720 is not the price on, you know, Prime right now for the perp contract, right? So you want to look at both, but I generally like to do my analysis and charting on the spot exchanges. And an SFP, it doesn't have to always be a wick, right? Because remember, we might have closed below this on another exchange, but it doesn't change the fact that if we're able to reclaim this level, this just becomes a deviation, right? Don't overthink it being like, well, it closed below, it didn't just wick below. If we're able to hold this as a low, that's a deviation and we're moving up higher and your risk is still there, right? But yeah, I like to chart on the spot exchanges. I already explained the continuation, right? If we fail to hold here, we're going to run this 39,678 level, which is this low here. So if we fail to hold here and we trade down, right, I think we run this level into here. Considering CPI data release on the 12th, range till then, it's possible, right? So we have the CPI data coming out on Wednesday. So maybe we're going to hear that the market is cooked and the S&P is going to fucking tank and we tank as well. Maybe we don't get any relief, right? So you could wait before entering any sort of swing trade until Wednesday and have a little bit more data, a little bit more information. So basically, taking profit from longs at that 1 day OB is smarter than at the mid-range. I don't understand your question because they're at the same level, basically. But what you want to see for order blocks is confluence. This is the up candle that caused this huge dump. This is the last up move before this huge dump. So for price, if price is going to retrace, this is a good area to target. And it's confluent with an SR level being the mid-range where we chopped around for like a month, right? Bear OB at the high of the hourly range. Yeah, so we have this bearish order block here that basically has capped price. So obviously would want to see it flip this if it's got a chance at going there. But I'm more interested in seeing this low hold. If this low gets nuked, I think we make new lows. Why do you chart on BitMEX chart when you trade on Prime? Same reason that XO just said here, right? Prime XBT's aggregate price comes from several exchanges, so it always makes more sense to trade or to chart on a spot exchange. What signs did you look for yesterday to give you confidence to enter on those bounces? So I was looking quite at the low time frame here, right? Once we had this SFP at the lows here, and then the move away quite quickly, I was confident to get into some longs because we had closed this as an SFP first, right? So we ran this low, okay? So we had a high time frame run of the low, right? Here. When we came back down and then ran this low and then had the low time frame SFP as well, that was the reason I wanted to hop in. It was basically just a low time frame play. and I just fucking aped in. I marketed in when I woke up, and I said, okay, this thing's got 3 drives essentially down, right? You got your first drive, your second drive. We had a third drive down. We had multiple swing failure patterns there, and I was like, okay, I'm confident enough to add longs based on this low time frame trigger. The second trigger that I saw, if you missed the lows down here, would be the pullback here, right into there. Another SFP right into your 6-2. So that was the logic for me to get long down here. Was we just saw multiple runs of lows here. We also had a bullish divergence forming, not shown here on this chart, but we had a bullish divergence forming, multiple SFPs, and then we had a low time frame bullish market structure form here. Right? Once we ran this low, soon as that low got ran, low, high, right? Higher low, higher high, higher low. So I'm interested in getting long now. This was a scalp like type of entry because it was based on the low time frame, but you could basically simplify it to the SFP here. You could have just entered. Soon as that candle closes as an SFP, right? My entry was 40,900. How do you trade the SFP? Candle close, stop below there, target the highs, right? Pretty straightforward. That's not even the best entry. It came all the way back down in, right? But my entry was based on the SFP. You could have waited and got in on one of these low pullbacks, but as soon as that SFP candle closed, that's how you enter, right? And where I made the most money was not even on this move. It was like, okay, if Bitcoin catches a bounce here, it's a good chance a lot of alts rally even harder. Link, for example, was looking super bullish. So we'll get into those. But yeah, hopefully that makes sense, guys. All right, there's a lot of see you later mindset. There's a lot of chatter going on here. I'm gonna quickly flip over to Twitch and answer some of their questions. Like, do you guys like that I post on, like, that I stream on YouTube, or like should I stream on Twitch? Is one platform better than the other? Like, most of my followers are on YouTube, so I've been streaming on here, but maybe Twitch is better. Some people say Twitch is better for streaming. So maybe I should switch over to Twitch and then just upload the streams to YouTube after. I don't know if that's a better idea or not. Right now I stream to both, but barely anyone watches on Twitch. Like, I think I've got 120 people on Twitch and 286 on YouTube. So that's pretty good, but it's splitting the viewership. Like, I would rather just have everyone on one platform. So maybe that's something I'll do. Maybe I'll put a vote. I'll put a vote and see what people say. Because yeah. Yo, what's up, people who are watching Ninja's stream? What's going on, guys? Welcome. What up, what up? Okay, so is the Bitcoin plan clear, guys? I've explained why I'm long right now based on this little setup right here. I want to see this low hold. This low needs to be defended for me to maintain bullishness here. If we lose this low, I think we run down to here. Is everyone clear with that? Does anyone have any questions about the BTC analysis? So funny. All the people on Twitch are like, YouTube is better. All the people on, or like, Twitch is better. All the YouTube people are like, YouTube is better. That's why I do both, guys. That's why I do both. Oh, I'm fucking sore. I went snowboarding Friday and I am getting old, man. I didn't stretch before. I just like strapped the boots on and ripped it, and holy fuck, my body is ravaged. How do you determine the mid-range? Is it just the mid, or do you put a specific candle? It's literally the mid, right? Like, this is the mid-range. So if this is the range low and the range high, it automatically pulls it for me. So all I do is I have a fib setting, right, that only highlights the 0, the 1, and the 50. And if you want the 25s, right, if you like using the quarter ranges as well, right? So I have, this is my OTE setting. I have a bunch of them, right? My regular fib is with the OTE. My EQ is one with just the 0 and the 50. And then I also have the 25s. Oops. Right? So now I have the 0, the 7.5. So now I have the quarter ranges as well, right? You can see just even a little more detail, right? Here's the mid-range. Look at the reaction at the quarter. Goes to the top, breaks the quarter, goes to the mid, holds, dumps through. So on the way up, right, we have a little level here. You could even look on the low time frame. That's that target area we were targeting right above these highs. Also confluent with the quarter range. So this would be T1. This would be T2 on the long. But yeah, it's drawn automatically. The mid-range is literally the mid of the range low and the range high. No, don't tell me I did that wrong. Okay. All right. Can you show us your candle color setup? It's just blue and white. There it is. Blue for down, white for up, wicks are white. Easy peasy. Okay, so everyone just in the chat real quick, let me know. Can I say the important low is the actual price? Yeah, sure. I always people ask me, I always do that. This low, it's going to be relative to the chart that you're looking at, but on my chart, the low is at 41,240, right? Wherever this swing low is, after that run on the lows there, that's the low that you want to see defended. On my chart, it's at 41,240. Okay. Send neck pick. There, good enough for you? Can you make a video on breakers the same as you did on order blocks? I definitely will at some point. I just don't know when. That order block video took me longer to make than any of my other videos because I actually had to do some planning. As you guys probably are aware, I usually just wing shit. I'm not like Cred who plans out and has PowerPoint slides, and it's like Cred's got like a university course on price action. I'm more just fucking spitting off the top of the dome. And kind of going with whatever comes to me. But I will try and do a video on breakers. Yes. Do you use different colors for different time frame OBs? Personally, no. I used to. Go back and look at my tweets from like 2018. Like I used to have different colors for all my order blocks. It was horrendous. Now I just like the kind of monochromatic vibe. Okay, cool. I think everyone has got the idea for the Bitcoin long and the plan. So I'm going to quickly cover it one last time. Hold this low here, long target into here, and then potentially as high as here. Okay? Lose this low right here. I'm now looking to short down below to about 39,500. Down below this 39,678 level. I'm looking to short into there or just wait for it to go down there. You don't even have to short. You could wait for it to trade down there, or you could try and get into a short. And where's that level come from? It's this last swing low that is yet to be run. All of these lows have been run except for this one. So if we lose that current low that I was talking about, I expect this low to get taken out next and a move into this 12-hour order block. Right? How would it look like from a trade perspective? If this low gets taken, really simple. This is how I would trade it probably. This becomes kind of your risk right here. So if this breaks down like this, you could short the underside of 41, or maybe it pulls back a little deeper, and I think your stop would go there. Okay, what would be the risk reward on something like that? Let's assume you get in here, stop here. Target being about 39,500. not the best risk reward. Maybe you can get, depends where your entry is going to be, but that would be kind of where I think that's where I'd have to define my risk, is above here. Unless it goes like this. If it breaks down here and then puts in something like that, then you have a tighter stop. But for now, on the short side, that's your invalidation, right? And it makes sense, because if we get above here, we've now got a low, a high, a higher low, a higher high, and then obviously a higher low and a higher high. So that's your invalidation on the downside for a move to 39,500. But for now, we're sticking in the long. So hopefully that's clear. At the start of the video, I talked about more of my macro thoughts, right? I talked about potentially, you know, a larger move up into here as a retracement for a lower high. Up is like, you know, high is like 53 to 56, 57, 58K. So we could potentially see a big move up into here for a lower high, right? But for now, big range, the big boy range. Right now, we're working in the littler range here, and our initial target would be a move into the mid-range. If this is the low for now, or if we make one more stab down, either way, eventually, I think we're going to trade up to 46, the mid-range. All right? That's it. So let's get into Ethereum now here. So Ethereum, I'm watching this 3-day order block. Ethereum, I've posted this chart a few times on Twitter, right? If you look at these charts next to each other, what do you see? Right? What the fuck is this? I don't know what that means. I'm going to leave it on. These kind of look similar, right? Where we had the move above the previous all-time high. Once we broke back below, it sold off aggressively. Move above the previous all-time high, broke back below, sold off aggressively. So you definitely don't love seeing that on Ethereum. Bitcoin would be leading in this instance, because that low there, right, on Bitcoin is like this low on Ethereum. Right, so if this remains bearish, I think this is the draw here, 2,600, whatever this low is, around 2,600. I think that's the draw on Ethereum. Do we bounce first, or do we just sell off into there? That's the question, right? But very similar in terms of structure. We ran above the high, failed to hold it, and now we're seeing a sell-off. So Ethereum, high time frame, like Bitcoin, is bearish for now. We need to see some structure shifts to get bullish again, right? But for now, it's lower highs and lower lows. Going back to just here. Okay, I'm watching this 3-day order block here. So that's this down candle. It doesn't look like a down candle, but it is. See, that's a down candle before the up move that broke market structure. We're into that area now. Okay, we've run below all the significant lows here on the 3-day. There's literally no other lows for us to run below until down here at 2,600, which is below that 3-day swing low. So we have a 3-day swing low down here. Could this be a higher low? Maybe, right? We technically, I believe, are in the kind of golden ratio, a little bit below it, but we're around the 7-9 retracement right now. So this is an area to look for a potential bounce for sure. So how am I playing this? 3-day order block here. So I want to look for reasons to potentially be bullish. The high time frame is bearish. So any longs that I'm taking in here are counter trend, and I'd be longing and then looking for a lower high, right? That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking to catch the up move before the next leg down. It's counter trend because the high time frame is bearish, all right? So 3-day bullish order block there is what we're looking at. And then I zoomed into the H12 here. This is kind of the, you know, what I'm looking at as potentially starting to be somewhat constructive. We've made that low on the H12, went below, back above. Zoom in again so you can see it even on the lower time frame, right? Made that H12 low, deviated below it. We're now back above that low. So similar to Bitcoin, I want to see how we ran this low here. I want to see this be a higher low now. We've made a higher high. We've run the high time frame low. We've now run the low time frame low. This is a fractal. This on the H12, the M5 would look the exact same on this. So I now want to see this trade up. Okay. I want to see this trade up above here. My first target would be into here. 33 to 3,400. That would be the target. Assuming this low here, which is at 30.79, holds. So this is the kind of thing that I'm looking for. I want to see the low time frame shift. I always talk about this, right? The high time frame is bearish. But if we're eventually going to make a higher high on the high time frame, the low time frame is going to be in an uptrend before the high time frame shifts market structure bullish. Low time frame shifts, then the high time frame shifts. Right? So before you get a higher high on the daily, the H4 is making higher lows and higher highs. The H1 is making higher lows and higher highs. The M5 is making higher lows and higher highs, right? So that's what we're looking for here. We're in a high time frame area of support. I've seen a higher time frame low get run. I want to see some relief, but the 3-day chart is just two big down candles, right? Maybe we're going to get a 3-day up candle, but how would you know, right? Maybe we get a 3-day up candle next. How do we know that this is going to happen? Well, the low time frame is going to start shifting bullish first. So I'm looking for reasons. I'm looking for reasons to get bullish here. Okay? And this is what this is my reasoning behind it, right? We've run that 12-hour low. We're into the 3-day order block. Bitcoin is holding the range low for now. So I want to see bullish price action. We could just reject from here right now. We've come into a 12-hour order block, right? This could just sell off right here and make new lows. And if that's the case, like, you know, the new lows below here, next main low is, you know, kind of towards 2,600. So it could get ugly. But I'm looking for reasons to potentially get long and see some relief. If Bitcoin wants to trade down to 3,900, 39,500 like we talked about, this low at 29, 95 is getting run, right? So we're taking as we come. I'm not long Ethereum personally, but it's effectively the exact same setup as what I explained on Bitcoin. It's the exact same. Ran the low, ran this low, potential higher low here. I want to see this low hold for a move above these highs. Simple as that. Okay, high time frame though. Just like Bitcoin, Ethereum's bearish. Could we see some sort of lower high? Yeah, sure. Maybe we have a move up here, right? If Bitcoin wants to go to 58K, maybe Ethereum trades back at 4,000. And then it makes a lower low. Okay, but the high time frame is bearish. So all longs you're taking are counter the high time frame trend right now. Okay. Is this, I see a lot of people want this to be the low before here. The thing is if this is the low before we make a new higher high, there's no way of knowing, right? The market structure is bearish. You have to assume that this is a lower low and we're going to make a lower high. The only way to be wrong is if we literally make, to disprove that is if we literally make a higher high and people are going to be like, okay, well, it's a little late for me to know that we were going higher once we were past all-time high. That's because the high time frames are not dynamic like the low time frames. They move extremely slowly, right? So this is a low and then a high on the monthly chart, right? We're not going to know for sure if the monthly is flipped bearish until this low gets taken out. But the clues will be on the lower time frame first. The lower time frame will start breaking market structure. You didn't know that we were going to have this big sell-off on the monthly. It's just a huge candle. But if you went down to the daily, okay, we broke daily market structure on the 19th of November, right? And then there's the result. On the 4-hour chart, I mean, you could argue we broke it even earlier, actually. If you want to include this as your swing low, right? Broke it on the 15th of November, right? On the 4-hour chart, this is the swing low. This is the swing low that led to the last swing high. You could even argue it's this one, I guess, but this is an SFP. Either way, right? A day before, it broke market structure on the lower time frame. So the lower time frames are going to start to shift before the high time frame, is what I'm trying to say. in way too many words. All right. SFP is swing failure pattern. Can you show us how you found the bottom of the Great Depression? I'd love to. I went to the chart and I said, that looks like the bottom right there. Nailed it. Just responding to that meme of a tweet where the girl's like, all you gotta do is find the bottom, and then when price starts going up, that's the bottom. It's like, yeah, it's so simple. Link looks amazing. So Link does look amazing. We'll cover Link. But one thing that's worrisome about Link is Link underperformed Bitcoin most of the bull run, right? Underperformed Bitcoin most of the, second half of the bull run. The bull run started here. Link ran, right? And then the rest of the bull run, majority of the bull run, it underperformed Bitcoin. So there is, it outperformed Bitcoin in the bear market. So there's an argument to be made that, maybe if Link starts getting bullish, that means we're going into another bear market, right? But there are going to be assets that are going up, bull or bear. There's going to be assets that are going up, outperforming, blah, blah, blah. So there's always opportunity. But yeah, that is one thing to worry about. But yeah, Link does look really good. So hopefully it's not one of the, four horsemen of the bear apocalypse that's about to begin that Link is starting to run. We'll see. This is a high risk, low reward trade, honestly. That 12-hour, look at the 12-hour again. Again, no support was gained. It was rejected, and now we continue lower. I'm not long Ethereum, so I'm not in a trade. All I'm saying is if this low holds, there's a chance that we trade higher. And it's not a low risk, high. It's not a saying something is low reward, high risk makes no sense. My risk is 1R, right? So if I'm entering here with a target of here and a stop of here, my risk is 1R for a potential of 3.5R. Right? You might think that it doesn't make sense. That's fine. But my risk is 1R. It's not higher risk. It's not like I'm putting my stop, way the fuck down here. I'm only taking the trade if it makes sense for me. All that matters is RR, right? If I can get 2R or 3R out of it, it is what it is. But it's not higher risk. It's not like I'm risking more here. You personally think that we haven't gained any significant levels. It sounds like you've taken Trader Sumo, Dope Traders course based on the way that you're talking. I don't really care. I'm just explaining my logic. This is what I do. You do whatever the fuck you want to do, and we can go along our merry way. Your charting is very impressive. If only I traded this well. It'd be amazing. I'd be so rich. Is the M5 usually how granular you look to get in on confirmation on low time frame structures? I usually enter on the hourly, to be honest with you. I don't usually, this is more my speed, the hourly. I only occasionally will go down on the lower time frames if I'm trying to get in really tight, but I'm usually trading on the daily, the H4, and the hourly. There's a higher risk of your stop being hit because of high time frame levels. Maybe you're right, bro. I guess we'll find out. Are you going to leave the stream? Yeah, all my streams stay up on YouTube. Let's see. RIP Bob Saget. What's going on Twitch over here? Okay. How do you differentiate between a deviation and a market structure break? Yeah, you wait for confirmation, right? So a deviation, this was a market structure break, right? But once we broke this level, this became the key level, because once we lost it and started trading below, now it's a deviation. You don't know, you can guess that it's going to be a deviation, but it's not confirmed as a deviation until it loses the level. And it's not confirmed as a market structure break until it broke here. If it would have made this low and then made a higher high, now it's a market structure break, right? So you do need to wait for confirmation, but there's a difference between waiting for confirmation and being anticipatory. A lot of people clown on people for using confirmation. Personally, that's a lot of what I do is waiting for confirmation, and it works perfectly fine for me. But you're making educated guesses, right? At key levels. That's all trading is. You have a bunch of confluences that tell you that this might be a level you want to do business at. And so you start looking for trade setups to form at that level. you're applying TA, whatever else you might use, indicators, fundamental analysis, whatever you fucking use, and you're stacking the deck ideally in your favor, and you believe you have an edge. You make sure the risk reward is asymmetric, and then you are making a bet. That's what it is. It's a bet, right? But ideally, the difference between trading and gambling is you have an edge, right? Where if you're playing blackjack, statistically, you don't have an edge. You can play perfectly and you still have less than a 50-50 chance. Ideally, with trading, maybe you have a strike rate that is greater than 50%. Even if you don't have a greater than 50% strike rate, if your risk reward is asymmetric, you can still make money. But the idea here is you have less information asymmetry, right? There's not as much of a house edge against you as just straight up gambling. That being said, people who gamble professionally, they do everything they can to, if you're a pro poker player, you know all the odds, right? There's 52 cards in a deck. You saw this guy's, maybe that guy, you saw on the flop that there's certain cards, you have a 2, there's a 2 in the flop. You know that there's only 2 2s remaining in the deck, and you're doing all of this kind of statistics to say, okay, how do I play this perfectly? And then all the numbers. It's no different than being a professional trader. You're taking all the information available, you're making an educated guess, at a point. And your trading strategy, your edge, is what you believe helps you have a higher likelihood of being right than wrong, and you're not just flipping a coin and going long or short, right? You say, okay, here's the reasons why I'm long at this level, but at the end of the day, it's a bet, it's an educated guess, and you might be fucking wrong, right? Like, people always ask me, they're like, how do you know that level's gonna hold? You don't, right? In hindsight, if we do this, if I wake up tomorrow and price is up here, I'm gonna look like a fucking genius, because it's like, oh, Mayne called it, he said that it was gonna bounce from here, but it just as likely could do that, maybe it does this, and then I'm wrong. But I've made a bet, I've managed my risk, and I live with the result, right? As soon as you start thinking in that kind of robotic way, being like, hey, the money's on the table, it's either coming back, if it's a 2R trade, it's either coming back double, or I'm out 1R, takes a lot of the emotion out of the process for you. Okay, I think we're all good here on Ethereum now. I've explained my plan for Ethereum. I've explained my plan for Bitcoin. Ethereum BTC, unfortunately, I thought it was looking bullish to me initially when it was holding, up here along the range highs, but we've now made a lower low. So I don't love to see that. What you don't really like seeing here is we came in, right? We SFP'd this high, okay? And then we actually had a perfect breaker play right into that weekly SFP right here. So this is the down candle before the up move that ran that weekly high, back below, rejected perfectly. And now we're rejecting from this order block and the high of the range, and we've made a lower low. Right? So just looking at this chart, right, the target to me would be the mid-range now on Ethereum BTC. The reason I don't like this, right, is now, what does this look like? Initially, this is the exact question I just answered about what's the difference between a deviation and a market structure break. I thought that this was a market structure break. We came down here. I wanted to see it hold the lows here and then make a higher high and then trade into here. That would have been a market structure break. Instead, it fell back within the range. Now it looks like a deviation, right? So if that means this is a deviation, we need to reclaim this level to be bullish again. Reclaim that level, we're bullish again. But now that we've deviated the high, my next target is going to be right here, right? Down here and into the mid-range. So not ideal, looking like this is a fake out on the range high, unfortunately. So this becomes our key level to regain the range high. If we reclaim this level, I'm now bullish on FBTC again towards here. Okay? But now that we've deviated this level, we're now playing within this range here. The mid-range would be the next target. Maybe we run the lows here and then we go back up. So that's the difference between a deviation and market structure break in action. We broke out. Once we broke out, I wanted to see us continue higher, but the fact that we failed to get higher, made a lower high, and now I've obviously lost this level, this becomes the key level to reclaim before we can get bullish again. It's no different than Bitcoin up here. Okay? Once we lost this high, that's the level it had to reclaim to be bullish. So if you want Bitcoin at 100K, it could come all the way up here. But if it does not get above this level, I think it goes lower. So unfortunate, but we'll wait and see. This is back within this big range. So we're back within this big range, and this appears to be just a deviation outside of the range. So let's see what happens. See if we trade to the mid-range now. Okay. Adam. So Adam has been going crazy, went on a crazy rip here, had a big nice up move, but this is a really ugly weekly candle that we just closed. Why is it doing that? What the fuck? Why is it doing that? Isn't that weird? When I go down to the 12 hour and the H4 and stuff, it doesn't show the wick. What happens if I draw a candle here? This is frustrating. Anyways, oh, thank you. I see that now. The error in my ways. Thank you, sir. Whoever suggested that, thank you. Okay, there we go. So Adam, right? We actually talked about longing down here in this order block, right? Because we had that 12-hour SFP into that weekly order block here, and we saw a huge rally occur, right? So that was a good look. However, what we don't like to see now is this weekly chart. That weekly candle is ugly. That doesn't scream bullish to me. Okay, so we've got a weekly SFP. We've got a 12-hour SFP here, and we've actually broken market structure below the low that ran that weekly high. Okay, so this actually is feeling quite heavy to me now, right? We're rejecting from this weekly level here, basically. So if you zoom in, right, it's unable to gain this. It's unable to gain this weekly level here. It's rejecting this 37, 27, 40 level. So that would be the level I want to see us get above on Atom. But right now, the higher time frames are looking kind of ugly, right? We've got that weekly swing failure pattern. We've got that 12-hour swing failure pattern within the weekly swing failure pattern. Technically, you could short Atom like as a swing short, like right here with your stop up here. Target way fucking lower. Like this could be there could be some big weekly short playing out. I don't think I would enter this here. I would wait for it to come higher, like come up into here maybe. But I would be very careful with Atom because we're into this kind of high time frame level. It's rejecting, and we've got a lot of SFPs forming against high time frame levels, right? Weekly swing failure pattern, daily is its own swing failure pattern. So within that weekly swing failure pattern, there's also a daily SFP. So to me, this is telling me that there's sell pressure up here. We've broken that low here on the H12. Broken market structure on the H12. So I'd actually potentially be interested in shorting Atom on the next bounce. But I'm not in a position right now. I ended up closing my long earlier today. So I'm going to wait and see. But yeah, I don't love the rejections here. I think this is a pretty key level. If you're looking to get in a trade on Atom, I think this is a level you want to see us get above. 37.27 effectively, which is a weekly SR level. Get above there, and I think we'll see, a move up towards 40. Up towards here. But for now, I'm not interested in touching it. You look at the H4. Again, big rejections up at the top, rejecting off that weekly level. So I'm going to stay patient, not personally going to be taking any trades on Atom right now. I'm going to wait and see. Curve. I don't know what the fuck all these levels are. It's kind of ugly right now. So we did make a higher high. I mean, the weekly is an SFP, but we did make a higher high on the daily and stuff. But you want to see it, again, you want to see it hold above the level. The fact that we went above and we've sold off and made a lower low, right? Don't like it as much. We are coming into some support here. So if this thing's going to bounce, I'd like to see it bounce from like right around here. See, I got to do that for all my coins. That's annoying. I selected the wrong one. There we go. So into this daily order block here, it has put in, right? We kind of have that deviation where it made a higher high, but then it made a lower low right after. So an easy setup here for curve would be for it to reclaim this low. If we can put in bullish market structure here and get back above this 40.65, that gives you a trade to make, right? Hold this low, higher low here, and then obviously make a higher high. But you want to see us reclaim this low to see relief on curve, okay? But similar to Atom, the weekly is put in a big SFP, so you want to be careful. I'm still bullish on this. I do still think this goes higher. Like this looks like it is bullish, but you got to wait and see. There's no trade setup for me here right now other than just longing this daily order block. Like you could just long this with your stop down here, target right there, or new highs. You could just take a setup like that. Personally, not of interest to me. I would rather see us reclaim this low first, right? So make this become a deviation below this low. Make this a deviation. Start trading above here. Now I'm interested in getting into a long up into here. But for now, I'm not in a long, but it is into support. So wait and see personally on curve. Luna, we had a really nice play on. We were waiting for it to come back and test this 3-day order block, and it did. Right? So we were waiting for this move. So I did a Luna video 2 weeks ago when it was trading at like 90 bucks. I said, I think we're going to come down and test this 3-day order block and that previous all-time high level, which is right there. So we waited patiently. Right? We waited patiently, came into the order block, ended up testing this. There's a daily order block here as well, I believe, that it tested, right? So there's the daily order block test, but it also tested this 12-hour one right here. So I longed last night I got in at 63 something. So when we came down into 3-day, okay, now my ears are alerted. I want to be potentially looking for reasons to get long. So now I'm watching on the lower time frame. Right? When we saw this deep move into here, followed by this very strong move away, I just started longing. This is at the same time that Bitcoin put in that swing failure pattern, right? So I was watching on the low time frame. We formed a range. So we are clearly trading down here. All of a sudden it flattens out. Bitcoin prints an SFP. As soon as this thing made a higher high, I'm buying on the pullback, right? So as soon as it went there, I'm starting to buy. I'm literally market entering this, but that's all I was looking for, is at the same time here. Let's see, when did this happen? At 10:10 to, let's just say 12:55. What was Bitcoin doing at those same times? Right, exact same thing. Bitcoin put in that high time frame swing failure pattern. Flattened out. Once I saw this potentially be the low for Bitcoin, I started aping into those altcoins because I thought they would be higher beta, and that ended up being the case because this ran way higher. Where did it run to? Ran directly into that previous all-time high level and is rejecting for now. So what do we want to see on Luna? I want to see this now hold, right? Because we came up, this is in a downtrend. Again, these are counter trend moves. We broke market structure here. So this is making lower highs and lower lows. So any sort of bounce, you want to play it tight. You want to be taking profit at resistance, right? You can't just long this and assume it's going to make a new all-time high. But we're looking for a bounce. Whether that bounce, maybe this was it, but that's still a 20% bounce, right? I didn't catch the entire 20%, but I caught a nice portion. But it's counter trend. This is that's your top, there's your low, lower high, lower low. So any sort of move up here, we're playing it as if it's this, and that's going to do another leg down, right? So you got to take profit at resistance. If you're longing in a downtrend, you want to be making sure that you're locking in your gains. You can't just assume that the entry you caught, even though it moved away, is the absolute low. This might be it. That might be the end of the bounce. That might be your next lower high. We don't know. So you're taking profit at resistance. You're moving on. You got to be nimble when you're playing counter trend. When you're in an uptrend and you long what you think is a higher low, your target is a higher high. When you're in a downtrend, when you're long what you believe is a low, you're targeting a lower high. So you got to be taking profit at resistance as opposed to assuming that's going to shift market structure in your direction. You got to be a lot tighter on your longs when you're longing in a downtrend. Right? No different than shorting in an uptrend. If we're in an uptrend and you're trying to short, right? Like we're here and you're trying to short from here, sure, you can do it, but you got to realize, okay, we're coming to support. I got to close my short because we are in a high time frame uptrend. The difference here is it's the reverse. We're in a high time frame downtrend. So you got to assume that any sort of bounce is just potentially the up leg before another leg down, right? Hopefully that makes sense. Mayne, are you long? I am long right now on Bitcoin. This guy says 26% stop loss. Yeah, okay. So this guy is an idiot. Eye Struders. You can tell, first of all, I mean, he's holding a fucking fish in his profile picture. Very cool, dude. Sweet tank top. I don't know how many times I have to cover this, but I'm going to cover it because this guy's not obviously very smart. So I'll explain it for him. First of all, I don't even know what you're talking about here. Are you talking about the one where I put this, I imagine? You're like, okay, 25% stop loss, like you're an idiot. Is this what you're talking about here? Longing this? This is irrelevant, right? The distance from my entry to stop, it looks huge here. Absolutely. So if I'm buying a bunch of spot here, right, and I have to suffer a huge drawdown, but all that matters is risk reward. If the risk reward of the trade is 2, if it's 2R, but my distance to stop was 18%, versus your risk reward on a low time frame trade that is 2R, right? So maybe you're on some low time frame trade. Let's see if I can make it about the same. If you're close enough, if you're risking 1% of your account, both of these trades pay and cost the same. Doesn't matter that my stop is way further away on this one than it is here. My position size on this trade is going to be bigger than my position size on this trade. So the distance to your stop determines how big your position size is. You're not going to long 10 Bitcoin if your stop is 20% away versus if your stop is 2% away. That position size, 10 Bitcoin, 5 Bitcoin, 100 Bitcoin, however big it is, it's determined by how far your entry is from your stop and what percentage of your account you want to risk, but it's just negative 1R. This is also negative 1R. Doesn't matter that in this instance, my stop is 5% away, and in this instance, it's 17. It does not make a fucking difference. My 1R is the same. The risk is static, okay? The reason you are doing a larger distance between your entry and stop is this is based on the 12-hour. If you want to have a tighter risk reward, you zoom in to a lower time frame and you find a closer invalidation. On higher time frames, the ranges that you're dealing with are going to be larger. Okay? It literally doesn't matter. It literally doesn't matter. I got 124 views. I've got 200 on YouTube. That's why. This guy's saying I'm on about the wrong trade. The Atom short. It doesn't make a difference what I'm on about. Let's say you want to short Atom. It literally doesn't make a difference. The distance from your stop from your entry is irrelevant. 1R is 1R, right? All that you use that distance from your stop and your entry for is to determine how big your position size is going to be. So if your stop is very far away from your entry, your position size is going to be less than if your stop was closer than your entry. But at the end of the day, if I have a $100,000 account and I'm risking 1%, my risk is 1,000. It doesn't matter if my stop is 50% away from my entry. My position size is going to be calculated in a way that if I'm stopped out, I lose $1,000. Okay? So even if I'm talking about a different trade, it doesn't matter. You're the idiot here. You're trying to sound smart, being like, oh, he's talking about the wrong trade. You literally are telling everyone in the stream here that you don't understand how risk management works because you think that the position size or you think that the distance to the stop is the determining factor of the trade. It's not. What is your position size, right? It's going to change based on how far your stop is from your entry. That's what matters. That's why leverage is irrelevant. All that matters is position size. If you're interested in catching, if you catch a 100% move, but your stop was 50% away on the downside, it's no different than if I catch a 10% move and my stop was 5% away on the downside. It's the same reward. It doesn't matter if it's you're saying if it's a 1 to 2 RR trader, it doesn't fucking make a difference. If it's 5 to 1, if it's 10 to 1, my R is the same. No matter how far away my stop is, my risk is still that 1 or 2% of my account. Okay? So you're showing that you very easily you have a very solid misunderstanding of a very basic concept. You should not be trading any sort of leveraged products if you don't understand how the risk reward tool works and if you don't understand how risk management works in terms of percentage of your account and how you actually properly calculate position size. You can actually use the risk reward tool itself and it will tell you exactly what I'm talking about. You can actually use the calculator here and it will show you. Let's do a simple thought experiment here. This guy's not a 1 to 2 risk rewards trader here, so. Okay, so your profit on this trade is no different than someone who's on the low time frame trading on the low time. So if you're entering on this trade and you get like a 9R trade, your 9R is no different than some guy on the low time frame who's taking a trade from here and his risk is here. These guys make the same amount of money. These two trades make the same amount of money. And the stop is the same amount. This position size is going to be bigger than this one. The stop is 2.5% away here. It's only 1% here. Like I'm very confused with your trying to like flex, like being like, oh, what an idiot, his stop. But like, you've just proved to everyone watching this stream that you don't understand risk management at all. So maybe stick to fishing, bro. I don't know. What else is left to cover? Link. So I want to cover Link real quick here. Link is looking bullish. Now, like I mentioned, one thing we want to be aware of is this could be potentially a sign of, you know, an impending bear market, because Link is starting to get bullish, and Link was bullish through the entirety of the last bear market. So what am I looking at here? On Link, we've got our monthly order block here. We've come in, we've seen a nice reaction. The weekly candle just closed as a market structure break. So we've been in a downtrend. We've kind of based out against this monthly level. Then we had this run of the low, close back above, and now we've got a bullish break in market structure. We've taken out this swing high here. So I think dips on Link are for buying. I think for the next period of time, we're going to see Link outperform Bitcoin. This looks like it's shifting into an uptrend, right? We've broken this downtrend line. We've made a higher high on the weekly. So any sort of pullback here on Link, I think, is a buy. I think we're going to see Link outperform Bitcoin for the next little while. So I'm bullish on Link. And then I posted the USD chart as well. We came down into this low here. We had a weekly order block here. Okay. Came way down into it. I zoomed into the 12-hour. I said, I want to see us flip above this gray box. I posted updates. These are all on Twitter. We got into it. We grinded at it. Now we're pushing above. So any sort of pullbacks on Link, you know, maybe into this level here now. Let me just draw it out. Oops. So let's just take this level now. 26.40 down to like 23.70. I'm a buyer on Link. I think Link is going to be trading up in the 30s soon. This would be my initial target on Link right here. And right above this high. So I think any sort of dip here on Link is a long up into these levels if given. Link looks good. Okay. So I think I'm going to end the video here, guys. We're at like an hour and 40 minutes. Having to talk to fucking, you know, Joe Fisherman here pissed me off immensely. I have a hard time explaining basic concepts because I assume if you're watching my streams, you at least understand the very basics of trading, which is how the risk reward tool works. The fact that all that matters is risk reward. I could enter a long on Link right now, and if I can capture a 2R from here to here, right? My entry might be worse than the guy who longed down here. But his stop, right? His stop was looser, so he also only claimed 2R. So even though this person had a better entry, these trades make the same amount of money. Right? Risk reward is what matters, not your entry price. It's nice to flex your entry price on Twitter, right? If you're like, I caught the fucking low, that's awesome. But if to catch the low, your stop was super fucking loose, it doesn't matter. All that matters is the risk reward that you're getting on the trade. 2R is 2R. When you're stopped out, it's negative 1R. Whether your stop is 5% away or 50% away, it doesn't make a fucking difference. Obviously, you don't generally want to have your stop super far from your entry, but your stop goes where your idea is wrong, and then you calculate your position size in a way that if you get stopped out, you only lose that 1R. But whatever. This guy is shown his true colors, which is I don't know, whatever color that cool red tank top and cool matching hat and cool fish is. But hopefully that lesson on how risk reward works has been relevant. I would suggest maybe their iStrudel, whatever your name is. I suggest you check out CryptoCred's video and Medium article on risk reward, because he's going to be able to explain what I just explained much more eloquently. And then maybe you can come back and add some, you know, constructive criticism to the chat instead of just, you know, displaying to everyone that you're a fucking idiot. But yeah, I think that's all I got for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Yeah, invalidation here would be below here, right? So if we're buying Link on a pullback, Strudel, might pay attention. Put the fish down for a second and watch here. This is important. Your stop here would be a 10% stop. That doesn't matter though, because your position size is going to be what dictates how profitable the position is, right? It doesn't matter if your stop is 10% away, your position size is going to be less than it would be if your stop was only 5% away. Okay, it'd be exactly 50% less. Okay, so this would be a potential setup on Link if given. I don't know if it's going to give us that pullback, but if it does, that's the kind of trade I'm looking for. On Link, that's based on the 12-hour. Now, if you want to have your stop be closer, right, zoom in. Try and get in on the low time frame. Maybe we see a move down into here. Okay, and you can have your stop right here. Okay, that's a tighter stop, and the risk reward would be higher. But if you put your stop here and you enter here, it's still going to be the same profitability. It does not matter. All right, so this guy says 25% stop loss, guys. 5-7. He's going for the ad hominem attacks. He realized he's wrong. Now he's just trying to call me names. It's okay, dude. Where did I say stay inside with COVID for months? I had COVID. I wanted to go outside. I didn't want to stay inside. It's okay, man. I understand you're upset because I made you look dumb in front of 300 people. I'm sorry that you feel that way, but feel free to come and chat to me about it at the next conference. I'd love to talk to you about it in person. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, obviously let me know. You can DM me on Twitter. You can join the Discord. I'll post a link from my Discord on Twitter because I know a lot of people always ask to join it. It's completely free. There's lots of great information in there. I will be back this week. My editor's been out of town, so I'm hoping I'll be able to get an altcoin video out relatively early this week. But I'll obviously keep you guys in the loop. Here's Bitcoin, right? Remember, we're wanting to see this low hold here. Stop, entry, target, right? So we'll wait and see. But yeah, you guys got any other questions, anything like that before I sign off? Smash the likes, please. Much appreciated. Man, you're so mad, Strutters. Why don't you DM me and we can talk this out, man? I'll try and help you. I don't know if this dump got you down, you lost all your money. Maybe the fish you caught went rotten and you couldn't sell them at the market, and you can no longer feed your family. I don't know what's going on in your life. It sounds rough, though, because you're on the internet trying to yell at a stranger. So I feel bad for you. Feel free to message me if you need some help, bro. Maybe I can give you a donation. You can buy a new fishing rod. No, I'm not going to ban him. I don't need to ban him. He looks like an idiot here. So I'd more rather let people see his comments and that he doesn't understand what he's talking about. Oh, bro, you're from Vancouver, Canada. I'm looking at your page right now. We live in the same city, man. Let's meet up. Let's get a beer. See if you want to talk shit in person. Cool. All right, guys. Appreciate everyone tuning in. Like I said, you got any questions, let me know. I will be back with another updated video probably midweek. And as usual, I'll be posting a bunch of stuff on Twitter in the meantime. So if you got any questions, let me know. Love you guys. Thank you for tuning in. I will talk to you guys soon. All right.